Good morning, family. Merry Christmas. It's actually Christmas Eve, and I'm going to make a video about showing how I make collard greens. What you will need for this recipe, you're going to need some bacon. I'm only going to use about 6 or 7 slices of bacon, and then I'm going to chop them up. You're going to need an onion. I chopped up 1 onion last night. You're going to need minced garlic. You're going to need some chicken broth, chicken stock, however you call it. Of course, the main ingredient, collard greens. I like the thick sliced, and I also like the shredded collard greens as well. So I mix these two. So it's up to your preference how you want your collard greens. But I like to mix these two, the shredded and the thicker cut collard greens. You are also going to need some vinegar. This is the type of vinegar that I'm using. You're going to need crushed red pepper, salt, and regular pepper as well. So in the beginning of this recipe, I like to start off with the 7 slices of bacon, and I cut them into little rectangle size shapes. I'm almost done, and then I'm gonna put them into the pot and cook them for 5 or 6 minutes, depending on how they look. I cook them for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then I add the onions. This is the pot that I'm going to be making the collard greens in. I've already added the bacon. I'm gonna let it cook for about 2 more minutes. Then I'm going to add the onions. Then I'm going to add the minced garlic. And then I'm going to add 4 or 5 cups of this chicken stock. So I just added the onion, and I added 4 tablespoons of garlic. So I'm going to let this cook down for about 5 more minutes. So the bacon is in here, the chopped up onion, as well as the 4 tablespoons of garlic. And it is smelling delish. I have added in 5 cups of chicken broth, and I brought it to a boil, so it needs to be boiling when you add in your collard greens. And I like to alternate, so I do a little bit of the shredded, a little bit of the thicker cut. So I alternate when I'm adding it into the pot. So here we go. Ooh, it's a lot. And just keep in mind that it is gonna, just like spinach, you can have a big bag of spinach and then it comes out to just be a little bit when you finish cooking it. So just keep in mind that collard greens do cook down. They cook down just like spinach. I didn't know that. This is my first time, you know, we are all on quarantine and making the best of what we can for our own. So this is my learning lesson. If that's something you already knew, congratulations. That's fantastic. But yes, I'm learning all these things as I am growing older as well. So I'm going to let this sit and cook on medium high heat for about 15 minutes. I'm going to come back and check it. I'm going to add some more because I still have a lot left. So I'm going to let this cook down for about 15 minutes, then add the additional collard greens that are left over. It has been about 25 minutes, and this is how the collard greens look so far. I've added pepper, salt, crushed red pepper, garlic powder. I didn't say this in the beginning, but I ended up adding it. And then vinegar. 1 tablespoon of vinegar. I just did like 2 splashes. Sometimes I don't really like measuring things. I just like kind of putting things together and then tasting it and then trying it out that way. So I'm just gonna stir it, keep stirring. Overall, I'm gonna cook it for about an hour. I'm going to cook this for about, so it's already been 25 minutes. I'm gonna cook this for about 30 to 40 more minutes, and then I think it'll be done. Then I'll just let it sit. So I am continuing to cook the collard greens. I check them about every 5 or 6 minutes as they cook for the last 30 minutes. And I added some more garlic, salt, I added more pepper. I added more red pepper flakes because you just have to taste it and do the seasoning according to your taste. So you can loosely follow this recipe and also add your own twist. That's my recommendation. And that's it. And that's all.